880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on a gorgeous Thursday afternoon. It is October 16th, 2025. Hope you're having a great, great day. Got a lot of football we're going to talk about today, but as we're speaking, Brian Cashman is finishing up his press conference with the media, kind of an end-of-season wrap-up. Aaron Boone started at about noon, and I'll just give you the hot topics that came out of the Aaron Boone situation. Number one, Anthony Volpe did have surgery, which we knew yesterday. The New York Post reported that, and he's not going to be able to hit. He's not going to be able to swing a bat for 4 months. So that takes him right to February 15th, which is the beginning of spring training, when the pitchers and catchers report. And then he can't dive for a ball at shortstop for 6 months after the surgery. So there's a very good chance that he does not start the season with the Yankees at shortstop. Also, what Boone said, that Anthony Volpe is the starting shortstop. And I know a lot of people out there probably throwing things right now because they want accountability. You know, he has not performed the way people thought he was going to perform, but Boone was waxing poetic, glowing about his defense and the fact that he admits that for 4 to 6 weeks, it was shaky, but he thinks he's a great defender. So at the start of the season, Volpe will not be the shortstop. Not that he's demoted, but because he's not able to play and he's not able to dive for 6 months. So Volpe is the shortstop. I know a lot of Yankee fans do not want to hear that, but that is in fact the case. And I told you that was going to be the case. I thought best case scenario was that you'd have a battle for shortstop between Caballero, maybe Oswaldo Cabrera, and Anthony. So now there's not going to be a battle. What's interesting to me, what if Caballero starts at shortstop and it's just brilliant? And when Anthony Volpe's ready to come back, do they say to Caballero, thanks, but now you're going to be that super utility guy that we value so much? I think that's what they might do. They still have a strong belief in Anthony Volpe, and he's going to be the shortstop. Now, Aaron Boone was also asked, if he was hurt, then why, in fact, did you not sit him? And he said, well, we don't think it affected his play. Now, my rebuttal to that would be, well, he didn't play well, though. So what's the reason why he didn't play well? Did he not play well because of the left shoulder injury? Or did he not play well because he didn't play well? So that's a little bit of a question. Now, some good news, and this one is about Aaron Judge, whether or not he'll need surgery. Here's Boone on that.
Judgy is not. He actually had an MRI after the season, showed continued improvement in the flexor muscles, and he finished the season doing pretty well. So no surgery is going to be needed for Aaron. He'll take some time off and continue to do strengthening things and rehab and stuff, but felt like he finished the season in a pretty good place as we saw continued improvements with him.
Now, Boone did surprise everybody when he gave this update on Carlos Rodon.
Carlos Rodon had a scope of the elbow yesterday to get some loose bodies, and I think they shaved down a bone spur. So he'll go into an 8-week of no throw, which probably when you build in all the ramp up and the throwing program into, getting him ready to be a starting pitcher, probably delays him potentially a couple weeks to start the season. But everything went well yesterday. He had the surgery out in LA with Elytrage. So for now, he's 8 weeks no throw, and then he'll start his ramping up in the middle of December.
And he also spoke, Boone did, about why they're moving on from Travis Chapman and Mike Harkey. So here's the Yankee manager on that.
Look, every year there's difficult choices to make. And in the case of Chappie, has done a lot of great things in this organization through player development and then coming up and impacting our club up here. So those are hard decisions. In the case of Mike Harkey, a guy who's been here for so long and has been kind of an institution with us and has been in the middle of a lot of winning with us. and has impacted our organization in tremendous ways and is one of my best friends. So those are awful days to go through. And both guys that I have a ton of respect for, and ultimately the organization needs to make difficult decisions sometimes as you move forward as an organization.
Now, right now, Cashman is speaking. But, my question to Boone would be, well, why? Why were they not brought back? And, boy, is this telling as well about the power of the front office. Because Boone just said that Harkey's one of his best friends. Boone also was best friends with Phil Nevin. Both guys were let go. I'm sure Boone didn't want them to go. Both guys were let go. So that tells you all you need to know. The power of the front office supersedes the power of the manager. I've been trying to explain all of that to all of you. It supersedes the power of the manager. You just fired Boone's best friend. And before that, a couple of years ago, you fired Boone's best friend. Now, I guess Boone could say, oh, is this a hill I want to die on? There's only 30 of these jobs. I'm not quitting because you want to get rid of Mike Harkey. But why did you not bring back Harkey, and why did you not bring back Chapman? I don't think that Boone was going to go to war for Chapman. There wasn't that much of a long-term relationship with Travis. But Mike Harkey is the last uniform personnel that remains from the 2009 championship. Been nothing but a great soldier. He's liked by everybody. I don't ever think I've ever heard anybody have a bad word to say about Mike Harkey. So that's kind of surprising. Now, let's go on to Cashman. Cashman was asked, is bringing back Bellinger a priority?
He was an impact player for us. I'm glad we got him. Certainly expect him to opt out. Again, I don't know. We haven't gotten to those conversations yet. We're in the HR version of our winter so far. But I can just tell you, he was really impactful for us, no question about it. One of the many reasons why we were in a position to believe that, we were capable of great things this year when the dust settled. And so I thank him for everything he's done, and certainly would love to have him with our team moving forward. But we haven't had any of those discussions. I haven't had any conversations with Scott Boras. But Bouquet is his way, without a doubt. He helped us on both sides of the ball, offense, defense. He's a versatile player. He was great in our clubhouse.
Now, I will tell you this, everybody. Do not think that it's a sure thing they're bringing back Bellinger. I mean, Brian Cashman just effusive. Bouquets he threw at him. That's his word. And he should be because, Bellinger was terrific. He really was. But we have to remember the realities of the situation in that we're looking at. And Bellinger is repped by Scott Boras. So this past year, Bellinger made $25 million a year, or this year. He's due to make $25 million next year, and he already opted out of that. So what do you think he's going to want? What do you think that Boras is going to ask for? Probably going to ask for upwards of 30, and he's probably going to say 30 for at least 5 or 6 years. I think if it gets to 6 years, I think the Yankees are out. I think the Yankees would bring him back anywhere from 100 to 120 for 4 years. But anything more than that, they will draw a line in the sand. They just will. That's all there is to it. I mean, people have to understand that. As much as they like him, there are underlying metrics that they don't love. You saw that Ben Rice is ninth in baseball in hard hit percentage. So hits the ball harder than all but 8 other people in the major leagues. And that's why he was such a force this year. Now, you look at the good numbers that Bellinger put up, and he's in the bottom 10%, I believe. The bottom 10% in hard hit percentage. So he's doing it in a different way. Now, maybe because of his two-strike approach where he just puts the ball in play, that does reduce the hard hit percentage. But that's something that the Yankees look at and go, did he outperform what the metrics say he's supposed to perform? So all of you people out there that say, well, that's a must. They got to bring him back. Well, you said that last year about Soto, and they wanted to bring back Soto, and they offered him $760 million, but sometimes it doesn't get done. Sometimes there's going to be another team that's going to offer more money that you think is not as value-centric as you think it could be. It's not about being cheap. It's about allocating your funds. So Brian was then asked, what are the areas of weaknesses that you want to attack as you rebuild this team in the winter?
I'm not going to unpack that today. We'll have some free agency that's going to hit. That'll create some vacancies. We have, got to weigh the available marketplace via free agency or trades with the committed payroll versus the available payroll thereafter, and again, measure opportunities. Some players are knocking on the door, earning the right maybe to take the next step from down below. And obviously, at the same time, just trying to weigh what's available to us and if we can get our hands on it, in competition via trade or free agent dollars.
Now, Boone spoke about Harkey and Chapman, but he talked about it in the abstract, and Cashman was asked, why did you make the coaching changes?
Yeah, every year I'm charged with making some tough decisions. We have good people, and unfortunately, and friendships too, but I have to assess everything in the present and where we go as we move forward. And, again, our staff is, they work in tandem with each other in conjunction with our player group, and I just have to make tough decisions. So no one was per se terminated. These were expiring contracts that the question is, are we going to offer a new opportunity moving forward? And so I've made those decisions to make some changes and open up to evaluate opportunities in the marketplace to see if we can find some fits as we move forward into 2026 that make us better. But that's not to take away from the staff that I let go, who had obviously gave us a lot of great contributions along the way at the same time.
Brian is so good at answering those questions without answering the question. So you never told us, why did you get rid of Harkey and why did you get rid of Chapman? Now you could say, well, they weren't fired. Yeah, because their contract was up. But they weren't offered another contract. So you could put lipstick on a pig and say, well, we didn't offer them another contract. They would let go. I mean, Mike Harkey's been with the organization off and on for 16 years. So, I mean, I would love, just for my own edification, someone to sit me down and go, what did a bullpen coach not do that you not bring him back? Where he's close friends with the manager, and everybody in the world that's ever met him loves him. What did he not do? I mean, I thought that Travis Chapman was a done deal when Boone aired him out in front of all the cameras in the dugout when Jazz Chisholm got doubled off of first base that one time. So that one doesn't surprise me. Maybe there was a disconnect there. But Harkey, the bullpen coach, again, he didn't answer the question. He just says, I have to make tough decisions. Yeah, well, why was it tough? What was behind the decision? Now, I mean, I'll continue to try to dig for you, the listener, but that didn't answer the question. Now, they don't win in October. They have not won in October since 2009. And if you want to even make it more, outrageous, they've won one championship in 25 years. Starting in 2000, they won in 2000 against the Mets. They lost in 2001 against the Diamondbacks. They lost in 2003 in the World Series against the Marlins. They won the World Series in 2009. They lost in 2024 to the Dodgers in the World Series. So one World Series title in 25 years. And Cashman said, hey, you need your A game in October.
You have to fire on all cylinders. That means you got to pitch to the best of your abilities consistently. That clearly didn't happen in the Toronto series. And you got to hit to your best of your abilities. The sample sizes are so small that, when opportunities present themselves, you have to capitalize. Some guys who consistently hit in the postseason didn't hit in the division series. Some guys who have people question whether they can hit in the postseason did produce. You need it all at the same time. You need everybody from your rotation to your bullpen to your start position player group on the lineup side to bring your A game.
Well, the small sample size he's talking about, that I think is the disconnect between building a team in the 21st century that's going to get you to the postseason and building a team that's going to win in the postseason. So you choose to build a team that's going to be able to win enough to get into the postseason over 162, but then the sample variance shrinks considerably, where over 5 games, what will play out over 162 might not play out. It might not. So it didn't with Fried. It didn't with Rodon. It didn't with Stanton, who has carried them in the postseason before. Not this time. It didn't with Volpe. Guys kind of disappeared. Grisham disappeared. Bellinger did not have a great series against Toronto. It was Judge. They won the one game because of Judge. He hit 500. So this is one time that you really can't blame him. All right, let's get the co-host involved. It's me and you for 2. Fastest 2 hours in sports, 1-800-919-3776. You've heard what the manager said. You've heard what the general manager, for the most part, said. I don't think I'll just speak for all of you. okay? I will put it out there what I think you're going to say. You're not happy because you're looking for a pound of flesh. You're looking for people to throw themselves on the mercy of the court. You want to know why the same people are in charge when they haven't won in 16 years. But you didn't find that out today. The fact that they held a press conference with the manager and the GM tells you, as I've been telling you for the last couple of years, where everybody's screaming that there has to be a change. There's not going to be a change because they think they have the right people in place, but for some reason it has not resulted in a championship. So let's go to the phones, 1-800-919-3776. We'll start off with Tyler in Albany. Tyler.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. So, point of my call, I was going to talk about the press conference a little bit. I'm at work. I kind of had some time to listen to it. There seems to be a real disconnect from what Aaron Boone had told us throughout the season with Anthony Volpe and his shoulder, saying it didn't affect his play, but then 10, 15 minutes later, Brian Cashman's walking it back saying, it definitely did have an effect on him this season. So I don't understand why this franchise has been so, content with committing malpractice with the fan base and outright lying to the fan base, year over year, when we have guys who are just, they're fighting injuries throughout the year. And for a guy like Volpe who played almost every day this year and struggled, and it clearly showed both on the defensive end and in the batter's box, I don't understand what the deal is at this point.
Well, I think that they have so much invested emotionally, organizationally, not financially, but emotionally and organizationally in Volpe, that they're going to stick with Volpe longer than they would stick with others. I mean, if you look at the season that Jason Dominguez had, right? But when they thought that they could be better by playing an outfield that they played, Jason Dominguez sat his butt on the bench for the entire final month and a half of the season. And that was the right move. Well, they had Caballero, who is a player who's prone to mistakes because he plays a wild game, but he's a much better hitter at this point than Anthony Volpe, and they played him for those 6 games where Anthony Volpe sat out when he had the cortisone shot. But when Anthony Volpe was ready to come back, you know what? He came back. So Boone kind of danced around that it affected him. Cashman kind of thinks that it did affect him. And that begs the question, a follow-up, well, if it affected him, why didn't he have the surgery sooner? Because by having the surgery when he had the surgery yesterday, you know what that means? He's not coming back until probably the middle of April, maybe the end of April. If he had the surgery in July, all right, he misses the rest of the season, and he's 100% for April. So, again, there's only so many. I read social media, and people are ripping the writers. Why don't they ask tough questions? There's a decorum to the way you do this. You can't pin somebody to the wall and make them answer the question the way you want them to answer the question. All you can do is put the question out there, and if they want to obfuscate, then they obfuscate. That's all there is to it. That's the business. You can't set up electrodes where if you think they're lying that you charge them with a jolt of electricity and they suffer pain. That's not the way it works. So all the people out there that are criticizing the beat writers that are actually at the stadium, if you did the job, you'd understand the limitations that, first of all, there's only so many follow-ups that you can have. The mic has to be passed around. It's not like Mike Wallace sitting down with a head of state where he can go question after question after question. It's one, then somebody else gets a question who might be writing a different story. So you all talk tough about, well, they're not asking the good questions. Sometimes you're not able to. Sometimes you're just not able to with the setup that you have. Let's go to Mike in Connecticut. Mike.
Hey, Michael. Thanks
Hello,
for taking
Mike.
the call.
You got it.
So a lot of the same points that the last gentleman was making, I just can't understand the last few seasons, and this year it's the same thing. This constant way that Boone and Cashman talk in their end of season press conference, where it just seems like their underlying mood is pipe down, little boys, you don't know anything, we know everything. And it seems like they've been doing that to the fans for years and not backing it up with any actual real results. Like, to say that a guy who just went and had what sounds like a pretty major surgery,
Yep.
on his shoulder didn't affect him playing pretty much the entire season with that injury. It's just a blatant lie. Anyone with half a sense knows it affected him in some capacity, and then look how awful he was. It clearly affected him. So why lie to us like we're absolute idiots and we can't see what everyone can see? It's just the hubris is just insane. And it seems like with Volpe, they're cutting off their nose, gouging out their eyes, and chopping their tongue off to spite their face at this point. They're so invested in this idea that Cashman threw it in everyone's faces, oh, just wait till you see what he's going to become, that they refuse to even analyze him in what's actually happening because they want this gotcha, see, we were right moment to be able to throw at everybody. And it just doesn't make sense. How about just get the results and do what's best for the team, and then your gotcha moment can be when you're holding the trophy, going down and having the parade. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I hear you. I hear your frustration. They are very confident in what they do, and it does border on arrogance. So they look at the media, and they probably look at the fans that complain about certain things. They go, we know stuff that you don't know, and that's all there is to it. But they have a lot invested in Volpe. They really, really do. And they're not going to give up on him. They're not going to give up on him. Now, is it to their detriment? It certainly was in the series against Toronto. I mean, when you strike out 14 times and have one hit, it was to your 11 times and 15 at bats. It was to your detriment. But they stuck with him. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, I have private conversations a lot with people in charge and Aaron Boone. He's telling me privately, where I'm not rolling a camera on him or taking notes, they love Volpe. They think Volpe is great. And, you heard Boone in the press conference. If you listen to the whole thing, he came out and said, I look at a guy like Dansby Swanson who's turned into a really good player, but the first 3 years of his career, he struggled a little bit. So they're trying to find some comp that gives them some cover on why the fact that Anthony Volpe is essentially a 210 hitter. Now, if you're going to be the starting shortstop for the Yankees, you got to hit more than 210. And forget about the hitting 210 because they don't even care about that. They care about on-base percentage and slugging. Both of those are bad. His OPS was 670. That's not good enough. His on-base percentage borders around 230. That's not good enough. It's just not. So this surgery now puts him out probably till middle or end of April. And there's Caballero's chance. Go. Play great. Hit 350 when Anthony Volpe's ready to come back, and let's see if they do that. Now, their cover is this could be the last year that they actually throw themselves on the mercy of the court with Volpe. They'll play Volpe. Let's see what he does. If he does reach the heights that they think he's going to reach, and Boone kept saying, he's only 24. There are some first picks in the first round that still aren't in the major leagues at that age. Okay, but he is in the major leagues. You thought he was good enough 3 years ago for him to make the team as a starting shortstop. So you can't use the age factor because you guys brought him up. But I think if he fails this upcoming season, then the next year after that, you're going to see probably George Lombard. And they also had a first-round draft pick this year, Dax Kilby, who looked really good in the low minor leagues. So they've got people that could take over at some point. But if you think they're going to go get Bo Bichette, they're not. They're not. They're not going to get Bo Bichette. First of all, Bo Bichette's a terrible defender. Is he a much better offensive player than Volpe? Yes, he is. But you're not going to spend $25 to $30 million on a 7-year deal because they've got enough hitting. Their hitting was great. They led the league in runs. They led the league in home runs. They don't have to worry about the hitting, even with Anthony Volpe hitting 210. So the dreams of getting Bichette, that's out. No way. They got other ways to spend their money. Maybe they go after a Tucker or something like that. But remember how we all talking about, they've got so much starting pitching. What are they going to do with it? Cole's not starting the season with them. Probably comes back sometime in May or June. Now Rodon's not starting the season with them. Clark Schmidt's not coming back until probably late August of 2026. So be careful. Pump the brakes when you say they've got so much pitching. What are they going to do with it? Well, right now we've erased Rodon from the starting rotation at the beginning of the year. Cole's not there. Schmidt's not there. So what do you have? You have Fried. You have Schlittler. You have Heel. You have Warren. Now, they're pretty good pitchers, but would you say that's a dominating pitching staff? No, you wouldn't. It's dominating if it's Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, and Warren. If Warren's your number 5 or heel, that's dominating. Where it is right now, it looks like they're going to have the mix and match at the beginning. We'll get back to all the calls. Obviously, a lot of people want to talk about this. It is the topic right now. We're going to do a little bit of a shift and do some football with Dan Orlovsky, and then we'll get back to your phone call so you can either stay where you are, which we'd appreciate. We have the whole full bank, or you could call back at the end of the Orlovsky interview. That's up to you. Hey, Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., Rangers are in Toronto to play the Maple Leafs, so maybe they'll score because they're not at the Garden. Coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN New York. 7 p.m., the Devils host the Panthers at the Prudential Center. That'll be on MSG2, and it's Don LaGreca's first home game as the television voice of the New Jersey Devils. 7:30, Islanders host the Oilers at UBS Arena. I was there yesterday for a great comedy show. It was John Mulaney, Jon Stewart, and Pete Davidson. They were unbelievable. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. 6 p.m., NLCS Game 3 in Los Angeles as the Dodgers, up 2-0, will host the Brewers at Chavez Ravine. And 8:30, ALCS Game 4 in Seattle as the Mariners host the Blue Jays, who put a pounding on Seattle yesterday, and now the Blue Jays are down 2-1 in that series. Both of those NLCS and ALCS games can be heard on 1050 ESPN. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. All right, we got a lot to do. We want to talk with you. It's me and you for 2. Fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Dan Orlovsky comes up next. We'll talk some quarterbacking with him, particularly in the New York area, but also around the NFL. It's Michael K. and you right here on ESPN New York. For appliances, TVs, electronics, and mattresses, get to PC Richard & Son. Family owned and operated for 116 years.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday Touchdown Jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you got to do is place an anytime touchdown scorer bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Peter to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/Peter for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over in physically present New York, opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com for all the gambling problem. Call 877-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY 467-369.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
This fall, don't sit on the sideline because of pain. If you're tired of waking up stiff, fighting neck, back, or joint pain, and missing out on the things you love, it's time to take action. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain, New Jersey's top pain specialist. Dr. Shaw is the Ivy League trained, double board certified, and laser focused on one thing: getting you back in the game. Living pain-free, no surgery, no cuts, no downtime. Just precise image-guided treatments that deliver real results. Whether it's sciatica, nerve pain, migraine, or chronic joint pain, Dr. Shaw will personalize a non-surgical game plan just for you without pain medication. Same day and next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Most major insurances are accepted, so what are you waiting for? Don't let pain keep you out of the action this season. Visit Sandwell Pain to text, call, or book online. You'll wish you met Dr. J. Shaw a lot sooner. Relief starts today, and victory over pain is closer than you think.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Get 1.9% financing on a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 or lease for $219 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN390557. MSRP $32,455. Zero security deposit. APR $17.48 per $1,000 financed. Ends 10/31/25.
Out here, days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals, heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
Your fantasy roster is set, the smack talk is heating up, and this season ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sportsbook for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook, download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Welcome back to the show. So, we just went over what is being said at Yankee Stadium with Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman. Now we're going to shift gears and go to football with our good friend Dan Orlovsky. Joins us every Thursday at this time. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, boss man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Please explain to me, please, I need your guidance. What is going on with Justin Fields? Can he not throw the football? Is that the Jets' game plan? Is that they want to run clock in a league where everybody throws? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so Justin as a player has always been a young man that two things. Never operated, the quick passing game well. That was from his time at school and certainly from his time early in Chicago. And it's not, and everyone always takes this as like oh my gosh, people, when you say this, you're calling them dumb. No, it's a physical thing. He has a longer throwing motion. And for such an athlete, he's not a very twitchy athlete. He's more of a power athlete. So one, he's just never operated that quickly. And then two, he's always been a guy that wanted to, not always, more often than not in the NFL, wanted to see the person open before he threw it. And he was afforded that luxury a little bit at Ohio State because lack of pressure and guys got open. And so the timing and the anticipation element of his game has never been a strong suit. And it's not something that's really gotten better as his career has gone on. So, that's kind of been a piece of what he's been as a player. And then I do think the experiences of, going to Pittsburgh and playing very clean football, winning, being defensive-centric, and then going to the Jets, playing for a defensive-minded head coach. And, that a lot of defensive coaches are like this. Let's play good defense. Let's have good special teams. Don't give the ball away, and we'll be in games. And so I think that just builds these reps of how you stylistically play on top of, his own skill set and traits. And so I think that's just the type of player he is right now. And it's hard for me to argue that it's going to change.
Right, because he is what he is, and that's not a knock on him. It just made me wonder why the new regime said, okay, this is the quarterback for us moving forward, when I don't know if you agree with me, Dan, quarterbacks, the NFL wants them to succeed. They want them to pick up huge chunks of yardage. It's hard to win games 21-17. I mean, their defense isn't that good at this point, so they've got to put points on the board to win.
Yeah, and it's odd because when we sat with Aaron and Tanner, and Aaron specifically, and asking why, essentially hand choosing Justin Fields, and he said he was a headache to have to go against when he was in Detroit, and just that they could not stop him and specifically could not tackle him. And then, that hasn't really necessarily been the case. And so, I was disappointed with this past week, and I've been outspoken. I'm not sitting here telling everybody that, those receivers and specifically Garrett were wide open, but there's a lot of examples, at least, almost a dozen where I could point to and say, hey, coverage is telling you it's man. And man coverage, just pick the best player. Your player, just give him the best chance, and he's open. And at times Justin doesn't look there, at times Justin doesn't throw it. And so, there's not a lot that, again, I could build in an excuse or defend on those cases.
What worries me, Dan, I want to get your opinion because, you're part of the group in the world that gives opinions on this, and I am to a lesser extent on this show. But Aaron Glenn talking yesterday said, well, yeah, Fields has to, sometimes take chances and maybe throw the receiver open, take a chance on a man. But then he adds, but then if he makes a mistake, you guys are going to say, guys are going to bitch and moan about how he made a mistake. I'm shocked that a coach is chasing ghosts like that. Why would you care what we say?
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree, and I'm surprised he said that. But I mean, that's his personality. Everyone says like he's a fighter and a competitive guy, and so I think it's a little bit of his personality, while also having the understanding of this is everyone. People are paid to do this, right? Like we're in a job where we're paid to analyze and have an opinion on, and what we will, and whether you're doing good or bad, that's part of our job. And as a leader of the organization, it's hard to sit there and ask your players, hey, we want to block out the outside noise, and it's about us, and we got to control what we can control. But then also intimate, if my quarterback throws an interception, you guys are going to say bad stuff about him. Yeah, that's the reality of the world. And so
it's a great point.
It's the reality of the world. And so I think that there's going to have to be a constant. You got to fight it in today's world, right? It's social media. There's information all over. Everybody has an opinion because everybody has a microphone. And I'm surprised Aaron was so outgoing in that.
All right, so let's talk about another Aaron, because this is what we do. We play the what-if game. Would the Jets be better off if they had kept Aaron Rodgers, who's their biggest cap hit right now in the season anyway? So if you kept him, it wouldn't have cost you anything. Would it have worked better with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback for the Jets? Would they be 0-6?
No, they wouldn't be 0-6. Low bar, right? I mean, obviously,
right.
No win yet. So Aaron's playing well. I don't know if they would be doing the same things for Aaron in Pittsburgh, that Pittsburgh is, or in New York that Pittsburgh is. Aaron's been hit, I think, 10 times in the last 3 or 4 games. He hasn't been touched. And so he's playing really well. He's throwing it really well. He's moving really well. And so I think that they would be in a better situation. There's no question.
Is there a problem with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia?
Yes. Michael, you've heard this said before. You've been around the game of football a long time, right? That the pass game is predicated upon the run game, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the case. But it's important to point out to folks, like, there's different versions of that, right? Like, if I was going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks, their pass game is predicated on the run game because they're a play-action-centric pass game. Philadelphia's pass game is predicated upon the run game because their pass game is, 1, built upon creating one-on-ones on the outside, and 2, a pass game that does not throw the ball in the middle of the field. So if their pass game or if their run game is not working, and then therefore forcing the defense to get people closer to the ball, they're not creating the one-on-ones, and they're not a play-action team, so they don't pass the ball over the middle of the field. So, like, the passing game in Philly is 100% dependent upon them being able to just create a one-on-one for AJ or Devontae. And so until they run the football better, the pass game is going to remain what it's been.
If you were the Giants, Dan, we're talking with Dan Orlovsky, his weekly segment here on the Michael K. Show, would you invest draft capital to upgrade at the wide receiver position to give Jackson Dart a better chance?
No, not right now.
No?
In a trade? No. I mean, I just think it's I've seen this tossed around on some of even our morning shows, like, can the Giants make a playoff push? No. The Giants are playing inspired football and winning, giving themselves chances to win. I think that needs to be the focus for the next, 10 weeks or so. And can you continue to do it that way where you continue to build for the future? But I would not take things from the future for right now. Easier said than done because my job, quote unquote, isn't on the line. But I just wouldn't. The quarterback's not ready for that just yet. I mean, listen, Jackson's done some really good stuff, but there's a lot of development that still has to go along with his football game. And so I'm thinking, if I'm the Jets, I'm thinking, 2-3 years, the Giants 2-3 years from now rather than in 2025.
But can they do that? I mean, because, you want to hold on to draft capital, but the GM and the coach, their job could be on the line. What do they care about a draft pick in 2026?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's easy for me to say my job's not on the line. I don't know what the conversations have been inside of that building and I don't know if there have been any about what the future could potentially be like. I've been outspoken. I think Brian Daboll's a really good head coach for Jackson Dart, and I do think that you've seen that the general manager has done some good things, and so, it's easy. I'm not a Giants fan for me to say, you want continuity and you want to build for the future. But I don't think you sacrifice it right now.
All right, now let's flip over to the Jets before I let you go. Would you trade Breece Hall to get something for him?
I would. Breece Hall's a nice back. The Jets are struggling. They're not built for right now. You're probably not going to pay him. I think somebody can use his talents and more willing to give him probably a contract more worth his value.
Great stuff. Dan, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day and a good weekend.
Thanks, bud. You too.
You got it. That's Dan Orlovsky. Joins us at 1:30 every single Thursday. At 2 o'clock, we get Chris Sims. So 2 great quarterbacks on Thursday in these 2 hours. So we're going to get back to the Yankees. I know a lot of people wanted to talk about it. You did drop off, as I told you should do. You can call back now, as you will be the co-host for the next segment, 1-800-919-3776. I certainly hope that you're giving us a watch on our YouTube channel. You know how to do that. You go to the ESPN New York app, which you guys have done so well. And once you get to the app, just click on the tile that says YouTube channel. You click on that and you subscribe for free, and you could watch the video of the show as it's happening. It's like a telecast, but you're seeing it online on the YouTube channel. So many people have gotten aboard. We have so many people watching throughout the show. You could watch DiPietro and Rothenberg, Barton Carlin, this show, and then Don Hahn and Rosenberg. So do it. It's a great way to consume the show. And if you don't, well, then listen. You can hear the mellifluous sounds of all of us. It's K and U for 2 right here on ESPN New York.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win, can change lives. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. With an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our fans get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Dropped right down the chimney by Justin Fields to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets have the lead. Be at MetLife Stadium for the Jets and the Panthers on Sunday, October 19th at 1 p.m., presented by JetBlue. Get to the game early and secure the game giveaway, a JetBlue Jets plane magnet while supplies last. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
We are moving now. Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino & Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino & Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back.
Honey, this is it. Shot clock winding down. Trailing by 2.
When you can't miss the last shot, and neither can he, don't take slow for an answer.
Pastrello shoots. Did you see it, Carter?
Switch to Optimum Fiber, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at just $40 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today.
What went through your head on the last shot? It all happened so fast.
Optimum. Don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Tailgate season is on, and Monster Energy flavors are bringing the heat. Crack open the wickedly creamy citrus blast of Orange Dreamsicle, or ride the shockingly smooth wave of Electric Blue. Both packed with real sugar, bold flavor, and that legendary monster kick. This is the energy your game day deserves. So grab your can and unleash the beast.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes! Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Knicks fans, opening night is a bounce pass away. Join ESPN New York's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from 3 to 6:30 p.m. from Stout on West 33rd between 6th and 7th. Steps from the Garden. Get ready for the start of Knicks basketball.
Runs it off the dribble. He got it and one.
Special guests include Monica McNutt, Pat O'Keefe, and more. We'll see you at Stout on West 33rd. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the Knicks home opener. Don't just listen, don't just watch. Be there.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Michael K. with you until 3 o'clock. At that time, it's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Today at noon at Yankee Stadium, Aaron Boone spoke with the media, and then he was followed by Brian Cashman. Kind of a post-mortem of what happened in the season and in the postseason. And, you know, just from the tone of the phone calls that we got earlier, fans are certainly not satisfied. And I understand that they're going to look for pound of flesh, and I just don't think that that's going to be made available. I just don't. So it is what it is. This is an organization that values the decisions that are made in the front office, and the front office values the collaborative work that they do with the manager. So I don't think anybody's going anywhere. Let's go to the phone calls. Let's go to Joe in Washington Heights. Joe.
Hey, Mike. So I got a couple questions, really. First off, what do the Yankees fans really expect? Do they seriously think Cashman's going to come out and say, oh, yeah, Volpe was playing terribly because of his injury, and that's on us for not fixing it sooner? Like, it feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. When they give vague answers, at least the media can't run wild with quotes out of context. Sure, fans get frustrated, but, like, does it even matter? I mean, how do we really know about the inner workings of a major baseball organization? And on the flip side, Yankees fans are the heart of the brand that they're so protective of. and it's been 25 years since the championship. So do we at least deserve a sliver of honesty? But my last question is for you, Mike. You, of all people, know and understand the New York media and how one line can get twisted and spread everywhere. So do you think that Yankees fans deserve more transparency, or do you think that the Yankees fans are kind of right to stay guarded?
Well, first of all, they have won a championship in 25 years. That was in 2009, but they've won just one in 25. So I understand what you're saying, Joe. Listen, I don't think that we get told the truth by any sports organization. They give you just enough to feel that you're involved, but they're not going to tell you the inner workings and their inner feelings. They're not going to tip their hand. You know, it's like they're playing poker with you. They don't want to tell you everything that they know. They don't want to tell you every feeling that they have. They don't. Now, I understand fans want that, but you tell me any football coach that tells you the absolute truth every time he talks to you. I mean, you don't even get a chance to talk to GMs in football. They talk once a year, you know, on the bye week. So they don't tell you anything. It's almost folly. It really is. Because the media is trying to get the organization to tell the truth, and the organization's trying to give enough of an answer to get the media to back off and the fans to back off without telling you the absolute truth. It's not just endemic to the Yankees. It's everybody. That's how sports are. That's how the government is. They're going to tell you just enough to think you are hearing something, but you're not really hearing anything. Because they're not going to tell you state secrets. They're not going to tell you the recipe for the stew. They're just not. Let's go to Victor in Florida. Victor.
How you doing, Michael?
Hey, Victor. What's up, man?
How you doing, man? I listen to you every day where I cut my grass.
Oh, thank you, Florida. Man. Thank you.
I love it, man. It's like you are like my version of going to Sunday Mass.
Oh, wow.
Now, as far as Judge playing in the WBC, is he going to be limited to like more or less being a coach, or is he going to full throttle player in and out?
Well, I think he plans to be a full throttle player. I don't know if the injury that he's coming back from would maybe have him change his mind, but I think he's really intent on playing. I've told you this before. I mean, it's a tug of war between what's good for baseball and what's good for an individual organization. If I ran an organization, I would try my best to tell every player, we really don't want you to do this. Because, I mean, Buck Showalter essentially lost his job with the Mets because Edwin Diaz got hurt celebrating on the field. You could say you can get hurt in spring training too. But all of a sudden, every 3 years, these guys are playing high-pressurized baseball when they should be getting ready for baseball. I don't know when a good time for the WBC to take part or to happen would be, probably in the All-Star break if they made it a week. But it's not great for players to be ramping it up and playing high-pressure situations that early. So, again, if I'm the Yankees, I would tell Judge I'd rather you not do it, but Judge wants to do it. I don't think any team is thrilled that their player is going to do it, but these players want to do it. And for the good of the sport, you're trying to sell the sport worldwide. The teams keep their mouth shut, and baseball tells them to keep their mouth shut. They don't want them to discourage players from playing. So I don't know if coming back from the injury changes the outlook for Judge, but I know that Judge really wants to play. Let's go to Troy in New Jersey. Troy, you're next on the show.
Hey, Mr. K, you're the man.
Thanks.
Well, first off, I just wanted to say it's so awesome. I'm a huge Devils fan, so I love seeing LaGreca or hearing him. He's doing really good, and I can't wait for the home opener.
Yeah, he really is great. Thank you.
Yeah, but I want to talk about Volpe. I called in last night, the overnight, to talk to Keith, and I want to ask you the same question, but I kind of thought about it when I was on hold. I've only been a Yankees fan for about 10 years. Have you ever seen the Yankees give such a long leash to somebody like they have Volpe? But when I thought about it, I guess half the season they didn't have anybody else to put in there. They put in Peraza, and they can't. The shortstop market isn't really, booming right now. Correct?
No, absolutely. I mean, their ability to get a shortstop passed by, and that's why they have so much invested in Volpe, Troy, because they didn't bid on all the shortstops that were available in free agency. They didn't go that route. They didn't go Trey Turner. They didn't go Dansby Swanson. They didn't do it. I don't blame them. They thought that this guy was the answer. Now you ask me, have the Yankees ever given a leash like this to another player? I can't recall a leash this long for a guy who's not lived up to what at least the fans want. I mean, the Yankees keep trying to paint it in a different light. You know, he had 19 homers, 72 runs batted in. He's a great shortstop. Okay. But I think that even they probably have expected more offensively from him. So if you look at the bottom of their order now, if you're bringing back Volpe and you bring back Wells actually came up because he was a good hitting catcher. Now he's a defensive catcher who's not hitting. You know, he does run into, some slug every now and then, but I don't think the Yankees expected him to be a 215 hitter. So it's odd. It is odd, but they have given Anthony a lot of leash because they believe in him. They have given him an awful lot of leash. Chris Sims will join us in just a moment. Talk more football with him on a big football Thursday. Also continue with the baseball stuff as well with Boone and Cashman talking earlier today. Hey, getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
Why do you go to Princeton Longevity Center?
We go to Princeton Longevity Center because my husband's cardiologist told him having this exam saved his life.
Because somehow 20 turned into 40, and now I need to take my health more seriously. The Princeton Longevity Center designed a program to keep me healthy and active, so 50 and 60 will be no sweat.
Because even though my cholesterol is high, it turned out my arteries are clear. That's a big relief.
Whether you want to make the most of your future years or just want peace of mind, you need the Princeton Longevity Center. Their comprehensive preventive exam combines the latest technology with caring experts to create your personal plan for staying well.
Because I shouldn't have to wait an hour for a 10-minute physical. I go to Princeton Longevity Center because I get everything done in one day and take my results home with me.
Find out why you need Princeton Longevity. Call 888-8000-PLC or go to PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. Call 888-8000-PLC. That's 888-8000-PLC.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bath Fitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement, plus a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments, or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bath Fitter.
Out here, it's football season, where nothing beats backyard grilling, gathering around the fire pit, and cheering on your favorite team with friends. The yard is mowed, the lights are strung, and the grill is warming up. Whether you need to fill up your propane, get a new grill, or even a generator, Out here, it's game day. And we're ready for it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Build monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Yes. Welcome back to the show. Hour 2 of our 2-hour radio program, leading you into Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg at 3 o'clock right here on ESPN New York. We love this spot every Thursday when we get a chance to talk to Chris Sims of NBC. Also has his own podcast, does college football, pro football as well, and he gives us all of his wit and intellect every single Thursday at this time. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Michael. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very, very well. Do you believe that the Giants should expend draft capital and get a wide receiver to make Jackson Dart better?
No, I don't. You know, to me, like, I'm a believer in those type of moves, right, at this time of the year, that you only make those moves if you go, wait, we got a chance to get to the playoffs and win some football games and maybe really go somewhere once we get in the playoffs. I don't think they're a team that's in a state at this point to where I go, yeah, let's leverage future assets just to make a team here that I don't think is going to the playoffs, at least, to just to appease our quarterback. No, you got offseason to smartly do that, look at the draft, all of that. And they're moving the ball fine right now. I don't look at that as a huge problem. It stinks Malik Neighbors got hurt, but, yeah, I don't think you should be making that type of move.
All right, so here's my variable in this, and I think that this was a problem with the Giants' decision during the offseason. You kept Shane, you kept Dable, and you said, you got to show me something if we're going to keep you more. So why is Shane holding on to a fourth-round draft pick in 2026 where he might not make that pick? So, I mean, the inclination might be, I got to save my butt. I'm going to go get Chris Olave.
Well, I hear you there. I get that. But, save my butt to what extent? We're going to make that's where I feel like the ownership has to get involved. And we certainly could have had that discussion last year of like, hey, we got to make things in the broader big decision of the New York Giants, not for right now to save two people's jobs. Now, within that and these moves and what we're talking about, I get the feeling in the sense that Joe Shane feels comfortable with his job and what he's got there right now in New York. But yeah, like, okay, so we get Chris Olave, who's got concussion problems and is probably one concussion away from maybe his career being over. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. We get him. He gets that concussion. Oh, wow. All right, so wait, we get him, and then maybe we trade a fourth-round pick and something else, and we come into the draft next year and we go, oh, my gosh, look at wide receivers are falling off trees like they are in most drafts right now. And then we're going to go, oh, why did we give away these assets to Chris Olave, who we don't know is if he's going to be able to play in the future? Those are just things I look at it right now and go, they got enough there. They've been moving the ball here the last few weeks. I know there's no superstar that you have to change your game plan for right now. But, man, how could you not be excited about what we've seen from the offense and what they do with Jackson Dart and all that? And, yeah, I guess I'm just, I'm not a believer that they're a playoff football team.
All right, so on the flip side, and I asked Dan Orlovsky this earlier, if you're the Jets, would you trade Breece Hall? Because the Jets obviously are not a playoff team. They're 0-6, and they probably don't want to pay Hall as much money as he's going to demand. Would you trade him?
I would think about it. Yes, I would in that one, certainly. I mean, the Jets they got to look to the future now and the bigger picture. Now, their only thing is like, you want to win a game here at some point and look positive to, again, where we get back into the coaching decision of they're going to worry about what's best for them personally. And as you know, as I know, I mean, Breece Hall might be their biggest weapon on their football team. It's him or Garrett Wilson. And, of course, it's easier to get him the ball, Breece Hall, than it is Garrett Wilson with the current quarterback play we got with the Jets. So, they might look at it and go, wait, he's the only guy that can make a play and go above and beyond what we make in the playbook, right? But at the same time, no, I think that, yes, You're one of your best chess pieces, one of your best blue chips to put out there to get and acquire some talent and build for the future for what they want, which is more of a Lions-like roster rather than this roster they got here right now.
All right, so when Aaron Glenn got the job, Chris, obviously well-respected in the NFL, a very good player for a long time, a defensive coordinator for the Lions, and much fanfare when the Jets hired him. Has he not done what you thought he was going to do? Has he not been a good coach for these first 6 games?
I got no problem saying that. Yeah, I don't think it's been very good. How can you look at it and go, it's been real good? Situational football's been horrible. The quarterback's going in the wrong direction. You're supposed to be a defensive coach, and the defense is significantly worse than last year. So within all of that, I'd be sitting here I like Aaron Glenn, the person, but I'd be sitting here lying to all your listeners and everybody else if I tried to sugarcoat it and go, oh, I like some things here and there. Hey, they put up a spirited effort last week. But, I mean, geez, at the same time, yeah, were there situations that were messed up with game management? Yes. Is the quarterback hold the ball forever and reluctant to throw the ball? Yes. I don't know what we're doing at the end of the first half. That's an issue. I mean, the Broncos were begging the Jets to win the game last week, and the Jets were like, no, hold on. We don't want to win here. Hold on. No, not us. So it's crazy. Yeah, so it'd be hard for me to say a lot of positive things right now.
Would you have gone to Taylor in the middle of that game because obviously Fields was not playing well?
Yes, 100%. I was one last week that said I would think about starting Tyrod Taylor before the Broncos game, and I'm shocked they're staying with Justin Fields this week. I would have benched him for Tyrod Taylor. It's 2025, and the New York Jets have no drop-back pass game. It's 2025. It's the passing league. The league is favored for the quarterbacks, the passing game. The owners want points, all of that. And the Jets are playing football like it's 1942 again. So, yes, I would have made the switch with Tyrod Taylor.
See, that's what's frustrating and a little scary to me, Chris, because I think that this is their plan. And I think that he thinks he's Bill Parcells back in 1979, 1985, right. Whatever. That's not the football that we see right now. The NFL wants you to throw.
Yeah, they want you to throw, definitely. And we know that good teams are running the ball, sure. I mean, we get that. That's the Detroit Lions where he came from. But again, even within running the football, you still got to be dangerous in some extent coming off of the run and throwing the ball, right? And there's a lot of teams that do that. The Seattle Seahawks, look at what they're doing with Sam Darnold. Nobody runs the ball more than them, but when they drop back to pass, it's like, uh-oh, watch out. And he's leading the NFL in yards per completion or attempt, whatever it may be. The Jets, yeah, it's not there. The offense doesn't marry the run game with the pass game. There's none of that. And then, of course, in obvious passing situations, it's hard to watch the film sometimes and go, wait, what is Justin Fields exactly looking at here? I don't. Is he looking at the rush? Is he actually looking downfield? It's pretty bad right now.
Now, so many people have told me, sometimes you have to throw people open. He wants a big separation between defender and receiver before he throws the ball. Is that because he's not seeing it the right way, Chris, or is he afraid of committing the interception?
I think it's both there, but I'll say this. It's almost a little, I've talked about this a lot with Arch Manning with Texas a little. And when you're mechanics and you don't trust the ball and where it's going to go, it affects your decision-making as a quarterback, right? A really good quarterback who's on his game, he sees a receiver open by 2 inches and he goes, I can get it in there. I'll hit the bullseye every time. The quarterback that's not feeling it and the ball's all over the place, they could have a guy open by 4 feet, and they go, oh, I just don't know. I don't really throw that route that well. Let me look to see if somebody else is open. And as you know, in the NFL, you're lucky if you get one guy open per play. So I think it's a little bit of both. One, he's not an anticipatory type of quarterback where he does that and throws with touch and throws into windows. Never has been. And then two, I don't think he trusts where the ball is going to go. And and you heard enough through Jets training camp. I mean, anybody I talked to or anybody that was there or scrimmaged them, they were like, oh, my gosh, Justin Fields throwing. It's horrible. It's Tyrod Taylor. It's not even close. It's the worst throwing motion in the NFL, and it is by far the worst thrower out of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
All right,
it's
so
hard to win like that right now.
So let me ask you this, and maybe you don't know the answer. What did they see in him that they committed the 2 years and $30 million guaranteed to him. What did they see that we're not seeing now?
I think they maybe a little bit stubborn or overconfident, thought they could do kind of the same thing that they did with Jared Goff a little bit. Like, hey, there's some things to play with here, and we think we can make the team and call the offense in such a way while the quarterback is continuing to get better, we'll be able to still manage the game with the run game and the defense, and slowly but surely the quarterback will get better, and now we got a cheap quarterback on a value deal, and we can build our team. I think that's what they thought there. But, I don't think they did their due diligence in looking at film and what Justin Fields did in Chicago and how they could never run a 2-minute offense or a drop-back pass game there, and the training wheels were on his whole time there. And then, of course, last year, I mean, yes, it wasn't a whole lot better there, and the Steelers benched him because they were like, Russell Wilson will make throws that Justin Fields won't. So that to me is a little bit of the mistake there, and yeah, they put way too many eggs in the Justin Fields basket.
All right, so do you believe, Chris, we're talking with Chris Sims here on the Michael K. Show, do you believe that Glenn decided to go with Fields rather than Rodgers because he thought Fields would be better for him, or he was intimidated by having such a big personality and a guy with a big mouth like Rodgers in his first year as a head coach?
Well, I think it's a little bit of that, all of that. It's starting a new culture. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to want certain things done a certain way, and he's going to want you to. So they wanted to get rid of the last regime and everything that went with it. And I understand them, with a new regime too, with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we know he's a little bit of a handful. He's very particular. He's says a lot in the media, and I think they were trying to be like, no, we don't want any more of this. We just want back to football. We're going to be under the radar, and we're going to build our team that way. And unfortunately, it hasn't worked out that way. They were under the radar, but now they're over the radar because they're not playing good, and everybody's looking at them going, what the hell's going on with the New York Jets?
It is interesting, though, Chris, and I wonder if you've noticed this as well. Aaron Rodgers joins a team with an established coach who takes no nonsense. All of a sudden, He's not doing Pat McAfee. He doesn't seem like he's that much of a headache, and we know he can be, and they're 5-1. So maybe it was just a situation that didn't work.
Well, I think a little bit of that, too. And I think when the old regime was here, I mean, they rolled out the red carpet to such a degree, like how could he not think he's king of the organization? Whatever he did, they kind of said, right? And that doesn't fly. Like, we know Patrick Mahomes is the man, but Andy Reid didn't make him king out there in Kansas City. Same with Josh Allen in Buffalo. So there has to be a balance of team there, and I think that was a problem with Aaron Rodgers. And, yes, you're right. He went to a team that's got some veteran leaders that are strong personalities, and T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward. And that coach there, Mike Tomlin, I was with him in Tampa. I know Mike T really well. He's the man. And, yeah, he's got a magical way to communicate, probably to let him know, like, I don't think that's the best thing, you going on McAfee on Tuesdays and giving the State of the Union address. And I'm sure Rodgers realized it too. He's a pretty smart guy, Aaron Rodgers, so hopefully he kind of looked inwards to go, I'm not really helping myself or the team by me doing this all the time. And, yes, slowly but surely, Pittsburgh's getting better on both sides of the ball, and I of course, expect them to win tonight against Cincinnati.
All right, so you got to explain this to me because I can't figure it out. I mean, sometimes teams are bad because organizations are just awful and owners are awful. How do you fire Callahan in Tennessee when you allow him to be part of the thinking process to select their quarterback? How do you fire him 5 games into a second season? How does that happen, Chris?
Yeah. Well, no, one, the quarterback was a no-brainer, right? So they didn't need him to figure out that he was the number 1 pick.
Right.
That was a no-brainer, and so that stands alone by itself. I think the thing with Callahan is, and I'll kind of deflect to what Borgonzi, their GM said, who came from Kansas City. There's no growth. There's been no positivity. There's been nothing to look at to go, oh, wait, this is actually getting a lot better. And no, it's not translating yet, but, this is going to be amazing in the future, right? We've seen a lot of coaches struggle early on in their career. Shanahan was, 0 for 9 or 0 for 10 with the 49ers when he started. But their offense, you watched it and you were like, oh, my gosh, they don't even have a quarterback. and they're making big plays and all that. So that bought him some time to finally win a game, and they trade for Jimmy Garoppolo and make it happen. This is one where he hasn't won at the podium, and then he hasn't won on the field. They were questioned for how tough they were at the end of last year. This year, he didn't know the rules about, one elbow being 2 feet and all that, and didn't challenge a play there. And then they looked absolutely horrible on film or in reality on TV. And I think they just looked at that and went, you know what, enough is enough, and we're going to start our search for next year for the next head coach.
It's funny, though, and Don LeGreca and I always had this argument. He said, well, you don't make a mistake and stay with it because you made the mistake, but Borgonzi, he's the guy who selected him, so he was really wrong. So you're going to let him have another kick at the can?
Well, but I think it all got started to me more in the fact of they shouldn't have never fired Mike Vrabel.
Right.
That's the first problem
right.
there. And then they let Rand Carthon have his way down there when they had one of the best coaches in football. I can understand Borgonzi, and he was there to hire Callahan, right? I'm getting that right. Yeah, it doesn't look good on him. You're right about that. But I think too, and what too many GMs and everybody falls into the trap of is, this guy was on an offense, and this offense was pretty good. And it's like, well, okay, but why was that offense pretty good? Do you have Joe Burrow on this team with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? I think that's kind of why it's good.
Right.
Just like we're seeing in Cincinnati right now. And that offense isn't all that creative and great. So, he made a mistake there, certainly. But I will say in Borgonzi, he's been around an organization like the Chiefs and know what it takes. And, hopefully he can get it right this next time around because, that was not good at all.
All right, so when last we spoke to you last Thursday, you said you have not been that high on Jalen Hurts. After that performance, are you lower on him, or is it still the same where, hey, I don't think he's that great?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I've always kind of been there, and I'm one that admits when I'm wrong, right? Like, I didn't like Drake May coming out of college. Drake May's awesome. He's telling me to shove it where the sun don't shine. Mm-hmm. He's been great, and I'm going to tell you that he's on this cusp of superstardom. With Jalen Hurts, it's not that I don't think he's good, but people think he's elite. I have too many people that come up to me and go, why don't you have him in your top 5? And I'm like, what? Top 5? Are you kidding me? Like, come on. That's where it's gone crazy, and I think people are starting to see the flaws there. Yes, the Giants played defense in that game on Thursday night. I was there as I talked to you about it last week. When they came out, I went, oh, no, are the Giants going to play like this? Are they going to put this many people at the line of scrimmage and play man-to-man so he can just throw lobs to A.J. Brown and slants? But they had the right touch. They went, he won't beat us. We'll change up the coverage a little bit, but as long as we don't let Saquon run and him scramble, he can't beat us with his right arm. And I think that's the well-known thought around all of football. But it's just hard to always execute that. The Giants, with their pass rush and people there, they can contain him. And then as you saw, if you can contain him and make him throw the ball, he doesn't always throw the ball that well, and he doesn't always make the right decision there.
So are they in trouble to repeat? I mean, you think there's a serious issue there?
There's an issue there for sure, but they're so good, Michael. This will be a big week to see. I mean, they're in trouble in the sense that, yes, they don't. They're the media hype around it. There is something there between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Everybody knows that. There's something there. I don't know exactly what it is, but you heard last year with players talking about it and everything there. I wouldn't be surprised to see A.J. Brown be traded before the trade deadline. Right now I go, that whole thing's a distraction. They went 4-0, and they couldn't throw the ball to A.J. Brown anyway. So why not just, look for the future, trade him, and continue the Howie Roseman gold mine of let me get future assets. But the fact of the matter is they just don't play to their potential. It's an all-star offense. And as I always say, if you put Lamar Jackson or Mahomes or Josh Allen in that offense, don't even play the games. Just put them in the Super Bowl, and we'll see you there. So, he's the number one thing holding them back. That's what I believe, and I have a lot of knowledge of that. I'm pretty true with those comments, too.
All right, so is there a problem with the Bills? What do you think's going on there?
Well, I've always been saying there's a problem with the Bills. The Bills are just Josh Allen-centric. I picked New England to beat them 2 weeks ago. I said all last week that I didn't have the guts to do it, but I said a million times on TV, Atlanta can beat the Buffalo Bills. They're way too dependent on Josh Allen. They've always said, who scares you on the offense in Buffalo? Josh Allen and James Cook, if they can stay with the run game. On the defense, who scares you on the defense, Michael? Nobody.
Right.
I mean, nobody. You don't sit there and so does that speak to Super Bowl type of football team? Absolutely not. And whenever they play a team that can run the ball and they have to worry about stopping the run, you can see they can't play man-to-man. They can't trust their corners in certain situations. And there's Atlanta who can run it and throw it and is a lot better than people realize, right? They gave them problems. And, yeah, I will say I'm worried about Buffalo, and I would tell you to watch out for Atlanta because I think it's just going on the up and up there in Atlanta.
All right, so the leader in the AFC East is the Patriots. Do they have a legitimate chance to win that division? You think they've turned it around that much with Vrabel?
I do. I think they have I think their team is better than Buffalo. Now, the quarterback in Buffalo is an equalizer. He's an equalizer because he can make plays and do things that only a few people in the history of the NFL can do. That's what's amazing about Josh Allen. So he can beat you surgically by reading the defense and playing quarterback in the pocket. But as we know, for years people weren't open there, and they still made it happen because he's amazing. But yes, as a whole, if you made me pick right now, I'd go with New England. I think New England's offense is very good, and I think their defense, with these two corners healthy, is just going to continue to get better and better. I would take them to win the AFC East.
I've always said this, Chris. I wonder if you agree. I've covered baseball forever, basketball, some knowledge of hockey, football. There's not a sport that comes close to having the head coach or the leader have more of an effect on the team than football. I mean, a manager, nothing. I mean, Vrabel's turned that whole thing around, right?
Agreed. Yes, exactly. The most of these teams you see, the way they play and their personalities are usually a reflection of their head coach.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's what it is. You all those years watching the Giants, what were they? They were tough. They were in your face, just like Bill Parcells. That's the way they were. I got my buddy Shanahan out there in San Francisco. He's one of my best friends in the world. They play just like he does. He's creative as hell. He's thinking about football all the time, and he's a psycho, and that's how they play. They're psycho, right? So, yeah, that's usually, that stands true. And Vrabel is hands-on, detailed, tough, and not afraid to take a few chances here and there. He's almost like Bill Parcells Jr. in my mind. That's how I look at Vrabel. And you're seeing that same type of play up there in New England right now.
Tell me the Giants have a chance against Denver. Do you think?
They do. That they're going to, this is to me going to be, this is going to be tough. This is their first real road test for me, for the young guys, for Dart and Scatterboo. New Orleans, yeah, okay, we went down there. That was a road game. But nobody, none of them in that fan base was rabid and thought they were great. Going to Denver, Mile High, grass field, that defense is unbelievable, right? They're going to have to be really smart on the offensive side of the ball, taking care of the ball. But the Denver offense has been a letdown. They're another team that I'd go, they could go to the Super Bowl. They need another weapon on the offensive side of the ball. Their run game's good, but there's nothing scary. The pass game's good, but there's nothing scary. And so if their defense can kind of keep them in the game and keep it to a 16-13, 13-10 type of thing, that's to me how they win the game. I took Denver 24-13 because I think this is a week their defense is just too good. They pin us in our own end zone too many times. They cause a few turnovers and get short field. I expect the Broncos to win at home.
Do the Jets have a chance to win their first game?
They have a chance, they do, but I don't expect that to happen either. They have a chance because, yes, they're desperate, and, it's a Carolina team that's good but not real good. They're just starting to believe in themselves as well, but there's two things here with that. Carolina can run the ball on anybody, and the Jets, as you know, stink at stopping the run. And then if they get one-on-ones with this Teteria McMillan and this Xavier Legette, watch out. They can make some plays there. And you're not going to be able to run on Carolina. So this is going to be the week you have to throw the ball with Justin Fields to win this football game. And that's a big if to me. So, yeah, I'm picking the Panthers 23-20 in that one, Michael.
Chris, great stuff. Everybody should check out Chris's podcast as well. It's outstanding, and you could hear when he's with us how great he is. Chris, thanks so much.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, you too. That is Chris Sims of NBC, and he has his own podcast, which is a great football podcast you should tune into. And he joins us every Thursday at 2 o'clock. We'll get back to the baseball. We'll revisit Boone and Cashman and what they said. It's the K Show right here until 3 on ESPN New York.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Dropped right down the chimney by Justin Fields to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets have the lead. Be at MetLife Stadium for the Jets and the Panthers on Sunday, October 19th at 1 p.m., presented by JetBlue. Get to the game early and secure the game giveaway, a JetBlue Jets plane magnet while supplies last. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
It's another big weekend on the Fine Line. Join one of the nation's top sports betting analysts, Joe Wiz, Saturday at 8 a.m. The Wiz talks about all the big games, including USC at Notre Dame and number 5 Ole Miss taking on number 9 Georgia. In the NFL, the Rams take on the Jaguars in London, and Jackson Dart and the Giants are in Denver. Plus, the Wiz talks baseball, hockey, soccer, and yes, the Knicks are back. Follow the Wiz on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports. It's the best bet in town. The Fine Line with the Wiz, Saturday at 8 a.m. Be ready to win.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What do the Yankees need to do in the offseason to prevent an early exit from the playoffs next year?
This is a far cry from 96, 98, 99, 2000. And I think the piling on sometimes is unfair because they do every year have a chance to win a championship. But at some point, you have to cash in the chips and win a chip.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino and Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino and Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
You know, like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant.
But what if people hear fight back?
Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE, back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like D'Agostino, law, bite back?
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Fields avoids the sack until he can't.
I want off the ride. I want off. We put ourselves in this hole. We're 0-6, but we're going to continue to work and get better.
I can't take it anymore, man.
I hate him. I hate him.
You do. I mean, this is something you're supposed to enjoy and brings me nothing. Zero enjoyment.
I mean, I'm still pissed. I don't like to lose. It's very frustrating. I hate losing, and to not crack 100 yards total is kind of crazy.
Got to keep going. I mean, there's no other option. We have to keep fighting off. We got to keep building on the positive that we've shown.
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Sportsbook. Yo, Bally Bet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Check out that brand new Parlay Zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Bally Bet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Bally Bet, Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it. Progressive knows there's so many great things about being a sports fan. Like scoring the company box seats. How great is that? Trick plays that actually work. Prevent defense when your team is winning by a lot. And even more preventative prevent defense as they're hanging on by a thread. And of course, saving money when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's pretty great. Just like trick plays that actually work.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Complaining about sports. Not so great. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
All right, so I made an executive decision. I'm going to explain to you what I did. So driving down to the studio, there's a parking lot I always park my car in. I pull in, they make me wait 15 minutes, and the guy comes up to me and said, "We're full." Okay, so I pull out, and then I go around the corner to the other parking lot that's in the area, and the guy says, "You have a reservation?" I said, "A reservation for a parking lot?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "No, I don't." He goes, we're full." So now I'm panicking because I wanted to get up to the station in time to listen to Boone and to listen to what Cashman had to say. So I get a space right in front of the building where our studio is. And it's a metered spot where you have to put your credit card in that, ridiculous apparatus, and it spits out a receipt that you put on your dashboard. So that was at 12:20 when I finally found the space. So the most you could do is get 2 hours. So I got a 2-hour receipt, and then I look at the clock here, and I got off at like 2:24 with Chris Sims, and I said, well, let me run down to refeed the meter. And Ray Deanahan, my producer, is standing with me near the elevator, and this is a great building. The studio's great. The elevators actually stink from high heaven. They're the worst. It's like a dumbwaiter, how slow it is. It doesn't seem like it has any algorithm to go up to the place that's calling for it. It has to go up to the 15th floor to come down to the 5th. It's ridiculous. And I just made an executive decision. I will absorb the ticket rather than miss coming back for the show. So I'm going to have, at the end of this show, probably a good $60 ticket on my windshield, which I think I'm going to give to the executives and say, I tried to park in a lot. Didn't exist. I tried to park on the street. The elevators don't work. This baby's not on me. This is not on me. Now, one other thing I want to talk about. Last night, Jody and I drive to UBS Arena, which is you drive past UBS Arena. It's gorgeous. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's architecturally beautiful, where it looks like it's been alongside Belmont Park forever, and that's what their aim was with the red brick. And once you get inside, it's beautiful as well. Love that place. And we went to see the comedy show with Pete Davidson, Jon Stewart, and John Mulaney. And by the way, John Mulaney, I love Bill Burr. Love him. I think he's the gold standard. Mulaney might be better. Mulaney is one of the great stand-ups of all time. He's amazing. The words that shoot out of his mouth and how quickly he talks and how smart he is, but I'm not reviewing the show. But he's terrific. But when you walk in to the arena, and I don't know what the solution is. So I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old at home. So when we leave to go out on a rare date night, we have somebody watching the kids. You can't leave a 12 and a 10-year-old at home. But then you want to be in constant connection with the person watching the kids. But this was a show where you walked into the arena and the performers do not want you to have a phone. So you have to put a phone in this pack. And for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, you can't get in touch with your children or they can't get in touch with you. God forbid if there's something they've got to find a better way. They have got to find a better way where if they see anybody recording anything, then shoot them. But they should not take your phones away from you. I mean, phones are there for an emergency. I'm not looking at social media while they're on. I'm not filming their act. I'm not trying to put it out on YouTube. I need connection to my home in case, God forbid, something's wrong with my 10 or 12-year-old. So, again, here's what you do. You have people around the arena. If you see anybody recording anything, tase them and then drag them out of the place. But why should everybody else suffer? And I'm going to warn you about something that's going to go on. God forbid there's going to be a tragedy one day because you could not, or somebody you know could not get a hold of you, where somebody was in danger in health, whatever, and they end up dying because for 2.5 hours you're out of connection because they took your phone away. It's ridiculous. There's got to be a better way. Either tase them or shoot them if they decide they try to film. Ridiculous. One more thing. I'm driving home last night from UBS. I'm on the Grand Central. I'm in the right lane. Going 50 miles an hour. I'm not even speeding. Sometimes I have a heavy foot. Sometimes I do. And I hit a pothole on the right side. Blow out my right tire. Blow it out. Get off the exit Northern Boulevard, sit there, wait for a tow truck. For this great comedy show, we ended up getting home at 2 in the morning. Just stinks. But the thing that bothered me the most was the phones. It's got to end. And I've been to a lot of shows like that. And I understand why the performers do not want you to videotape it. But there's got to be a better way. They even take your your Apple Watch away, because if you have an Apple Watch, obviously you can commute. They take that away. Unbelievable. There's got to be a better way. Please, there's got to be a better way. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to John in the car. John.
Michael.
John.
Let me break it down to you simple with Volpe, okay?
Yep.
So my son tore his labrum, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Swinging the bat. It was significant tear, full tear, back to front. After the year was over, got 5 anchors put in there. So it was significant.
Okay.
Right? Volpe probably has the same thing as a labral tear, and I'll tell you what our doctor said and what probably his doctor said. Hey, you can play through it. It's going to get repaired. Going to get repaired at some point. You could play through it. It's just about managing the pain. So there was a lot of games and practices. It was right to PT, ISTAM, the whole works. So you can play through it, right? It had nothing to do with why he played poorly. My son had one of his best years he ever had. It has nothing to do with that. It's just pain management. It had nothing to do with his. The bottom line is, I don't think he's very good, and it's his bat pass. They should make this guy just a gap-to-gap, line-to-line hitter and get on top of the ball instead of trying to launch angle everything. But his bad year was just about him. I don't think he's very good. It was just about him, not the injury. So everyone's got to stop with, let
me stop you, John. Obviously, you have the firsthand knowledge with your son. But if you're playing through injury and you're managing pain, if there's pain, and let's say you're tough and you can play through the pain does affect you. It does affect how you perform.
But here's the funny thing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes you feel phenomenal.
Right.
Sometimes you don't even know that you even had the tear. And then there's other days where it's painful, but it doesn't affect. I don't know if it's his Volpe's.
It's his left shoulder.
It's his non-throwing, right. So it was my son's non-throwing. If it was throwing, no, you couldn't play through it. But as far as swinging, no, you can play through it. Sometimes it's just painful, but you treat it and you grind it out. And sometimes you're like, holy crap.
But John, one thing though, he played decidedly better after he got the cortisone shot after the All-Star game and then in September. So once the pain disappeared, he did play better. He hit better too.
Yeah, but the cortisone is just a temporary,
right?
Just a temporary fix, right?
Well,
so
listen,
for him to
go ahead.
He's a tough kid. He's an Italian kid. Of course, he's a tough kid, right?
Yeah.
So you could play through it. He wants to play through it. He did play through it. The doctors allowed him to play. The doctors would have shut him down if he wasn't able to do it. It was just about pain management. And, it was, hey, we're going to deal with this when the season's over. And that's what they obviously did. And that's what I did with my son, right? He was just hell or high water. I'm not missing the year, right? And he played, he played the best parochial in Jersey. So the competition was great. So it wasn't like he was, facing these cupcakes and it's not Major League Baseball, but it's the equivalent.
Well, how long was your son's season though? Because Volpe's hurt from May 3rd to October.
Well, it was from March, probably March 1st until October. So it's basically the same length between spring, summer, fall.
Well, listen. You lived it. You're telling the story. I believe you, John. But if there's pain and you're playing through pain, you can't tell me that there might not be an adverse effect to it. You can't. Because I want to believe that it had an adverse effect on him, because I don't want to believe that he could be as bad as he was this year. I don't want to believe that. And when you say he's just not good, listen, he's not Bobby Witt Jr., but even in a terrible year, whichever way you want to spin it, it was not a good year. He had 19 home runs and drove in 72 runs. So you can't say he stinks. You can't. Is he what they expected? No, you don't. You don't sign up a first-round draft pick because you think he's going to hit 19 home runs and 72 ribbies. I think it's more his approach. I really do. I think he's all about launch angle. But the year before this year, 2024, he wasn't trying to hit home runs, and he was trying to put the ball in play, and he's still hitting the low 200s. Still hitting the low 200s. So I don't know what to tell you. I want the kid to succeed. He is tough. He's a good kid. He wants to do well. It's his dream to be the Yankee shortstop. And the Yankees obviously are hanging with him. You heard that was one of the first things. Boone said, yeah, he's the shortstop. He's the shortstop. And I don't think that's what Yankee fans wanted to hear. But if you listen to the show, I told you he's going to end up being the shortstop. My hope was that they would have a competition. But now Caballero is going to be the shortstop at the beginning of the year. So if Caballero gets off to a great start where he's hitting 340 and he has 20 stolen bases in April, are you giving the job away? I don't know. That would be a tough thing to do. Austin in Washington. Austin.
Michael, hey, we talked the other day about the cheating Blue Jays, alleged, and I'll die on that hill, that they were tapping into PitchCom. And I can't wait to see Scherzer get his geriatric behind beat tonight.
But why didn't they use that against Seattle in the first two games?
You can turn it on and off. Anyway, that's not the point.
Okay.
Okay. Wanted to get your take here. I found it comical that, yes, in their promotional material for 2024, like their tickets, they had Judge, Fried, Rodon, and then Volpe, of all people, as like, hey, get your tickets for this season. Look who you get to see, Volpe. Do you think that they are reluctant to move on from him because of the amount of resources they've invested in him as the hometown Jersey's own New York shortstop when it comes to marketing, advertising, promotions?
Listen,
Austin, David Ortiz did steroids.
Austin likes to drop in little bon mots. They have a lot invested in him. Local kid. All of that plays into it. But I'm telling you, in private conversations, they think he's the real deal. They really do. That's not for attribution. It's not for being on camera saying that. I've had conversations with Boone. And I've told you the story where he's coming up the podium at Citi Field when the Yankees played the Mets, and he kind of snapped at Meredith Marakovits and said he's bleeping elite defensively. They believe in this guy. And, again, homegrown, first-round draft pick. They have a lot invested in him. They want him to succeed, and they're going to try their best to squeeze every last ounce of talent out of him. They still think it's in there. They really do. They still think it's in there. 1-800-919-3776. We're going to finish up with your phone calls. Want to talk with you. Dollars in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus, this sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus, physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
At PC Richard & Son, we don't just sell you a TV. We show you the differences, explain all the features from all the top brands, and we deliver your new TV fast and free because we know that watching that big game is just as important as movie night with the family. During our 116th birthday sale, get up to $1,000 in additional savings when you combine purchases of select TVs, appliances, mattresses, and soundbars. Great service, great savings. It's kind of our thing. PC Richard & Son. Free delivery excludes Manhattan.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Honey, this is it. Shot clock winding down. Trailing by 2.
When you can't miss the last shot, and neither can he, don't take slow for an answer.
Pastrello shoots. Didn't see it coming.
Switch to Optimum Fiber, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at just $40 a month. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today.
What went through your head on the last shot? It all happened so fast.
Optimum. Don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys, and behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy, like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win, can change lives. With over 30,000 therapists, an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our fans get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has all the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats right at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy teams synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
in the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports. ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you've had a good time so far. We still have 10 minutes to play. 1-800-919-3776. Aaron Boone spoke with the media today at Yankee Stadium. And he was asked what went wrong against Toronto.
I think them just continuing to pressure us, and right from the jump, I felt like we were behind in games. In part, a big credit to them, whether it was hitting the ball out of the ballpark against us, whether it was putting the pressure on us by just continuing to work counts and putting the ball in play. They beat us, and just comes down to, they out-execute us and outplayed us.
Which is odd. I mean, this is the best team that Aaron said that he had in his 8 years. Why should the Blue Jays out-execute you? I don't understand. I don't think there's an answer, and I'm not critical. It's just a question. Why are they out-executing you? Now, a big point of contention with the Yankee fans is what is happening with Volpe. He had surgery yesterday. He's not going to be able to play in the big leagues, it seems like, till at least the middle of April, maybe a little bit later. And Boone was asked, do you regret playing Volpe as much as you did with the injury?
No. Even going into this winter, surgery wasn't a certain. It was, do we do this surgery? And really what it comes down to is we have this time now, and Anthony ultimately deciding, because there's things that he does to it over the course of the year that aggravate it, right? I think for the overwhelming majority of the year, it was not affecting his play. There were things like he would dive on it a certain way, tick it off, aggravate it. I think in some ways the injury probably got a little bit worse towards the end of the year based on a couple of episodes that happened, but I don't think it was impacting performance. And this is something that you can play with and play through, but the finality of getting it fixed now hopefully frees him up to really go dive on it the way he's going to dive on it and make those next level of plays that Anthony makes. And then hopefully, because you're fixing something that is hurt on the body, that hopefully, it does help performance too, go to another level.
Listen, I have great admiration for Aaron Boone. I like him personally quite a bit, but I mean, we had a caller who said it doesn't impact him performance-wise. Okay, then why did he perform the way he did? Isn't that the bigger question? Isn't it better to lean on the fact that it did affect his performance? And later on, Brian Cashman said, yeah, it had some effect. I mean, you can't just leave it out there that he had a crappy season for no reason. He had a terrible season. He strikes out way too much for somebody who's not hitting 50 home runs. So I would lean on that. Yeah, of course it had some, but then if they say that, then the next questions go, then why'd you play him? And in the first half of the season, the reason they continued to play him? They had nobody else. Peraza's terrible, can't hit. Great defender, can't hit. Once Oswaldo got hurt, that was it. And they didn't have a real backup shortstop until they got Caballero. Brian Cashman talked about everything, but he was asked about the job that Boone does.
I think he's a good manager. I think he's one of the better managers. And I think, in this environment, if he was out there right now, he'd get a job rather quickly. But I also know because of our environment, he's someone that can be second-guessed 10 million times over. And I don't care who you put in that would be the same whoever else would be there. I trust him. I think he's a good man. I think he works his tail off. I think he's got good people that help support him, and he's got good players. And with all that, it doesn't guarantee the outcome we're all fighting for. But the guarantee is always that we're going to be fighting for it, and that's the one thing that the Steinbrenner family provides for this city is constantly having a team that you can put forth that you can believe is capable of a championship, and that's the job that we'll be doing again once again next year. I'd rather be talking about a World Series title right now, but I'm not. But the championship caliber intent is always there. I think we have a good manager, and I think he cares, and I think he works hard, and I think he's got good people, and I think we have good players, and we're going to try it again.
Well, there you go. So put it to bed, everybody. The hashtag Fire Boone. It's not happening. And I'm not quite certain that it should happen. I'm not. I don't know if it's his fault. Again, in an analytic, collaborative world, I'm not sure who to blame. Blame the numbers, blame whatever. But the players play hard for him. Aaron Judge loves him. Everybody in that room loves him. They do play hard for him. They respect him. That's important. That's more important in 2025 than at any other time in sports. You need somebody that identifies with the players, appreciates what they go through. He was a pretty good player in his own right. And I know that really, really, really frustrates Yankee fans because I've said it and I get jumped on it. I get jumped on about it. If he was let go today with all the managerial openings, he would get a job. He wouldn't have to wait and become a broadcaster again. He would get a job right away. And I know what you're all saying right now. You're in your car, rolling your eyes. Be careful. Don't get into an accident. And you're saying, well, then let him get another job. Well, the Yankees think they have a good manager. So they're going to stay with their manager rather than have him manage somewhere else. And it almost lines up with the shortstop. They think they have a guy that could be a good shortstop. And that if they pulled the plug on Anthony, Volpe would go somewhere else and actually be a good player. And they don't want that to happen. They don't want Boone to be a great manager somewhere else, and they don't want Volpe to be a good shortstop somewhere else. They think it can happen here. So the Fire Boone hashtag, you could put it away. It's not happening. And I've told you it's not happening. It would be the height of being hypocritical by the front office when he is as collaborative with you as any man could be, and then if it doesn't work out, you're going to blame him. But instead, some coaches get blamed, which I don't agree with. But that's another story for another day. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, last week, my 2-pack for sure, it was exactly that. 2 picks for sure. I was 2-0. I'm having a pretty good season. When you look at the other hosts and how crappy they've been, I believe I'm 7-5. I'm quite proud of that. Have 2 more picks tomorrow. Got a lot of stuff to do. We'll talk with you for 2 hours as we always do. I'm excited about it. You should be as well. So rejoin